Guys, hi, and today's Thursday. Today we're going to be talking about functions. I like doing functions. I think it's kind of easy for us to grasp. A function is a rule that assigns each input, that's our x values, isn't it, with exactly one output, which is our y values. Guys, remember we have when we made our graphs, our x and our y coordinate plane, we have learned that if we have a vertical line that's undefined, okay, that means when it's undefined, it means it's not a function. Basically, what we could say that looks like is say that this x value is 3. Okay, so we can make ourselves a little table of x and y values. Okay, so we could say that this point right here is 3, 0. Okay, we might say that that point there is 3, 4. And we might say that this point here is 3, negative 3. Okay, so when you see this, then these inputs, these are our inputs, have more than one output. We have our ordered pairs 3, 0, 3, 4, 3, negative 3. Therefore, for each input, we have more than one output, and so it is not a function. Okay, so that's kind of just the nitty-gritty to what functions are. Okay, so going back to our notes then. Let's see, a function is a rule that assigns exactly one input with exactly one output. Functions occur when every x value is associated with exactly one y value. Okay? So to test whether or not a table or a set of ordered pairs represents a function, look to see if each input, that's our x value, or x value, has exactly one output, or y value. Okay? So when we look at graphs, there's some rules that we look at, and these are going to be very, very important for you to answer questions with, but to identify. So with a graph, okay, that's when we have our x and y axis, our x-axis, our y-axis, represents a function. It should be able to pass what we call the vertical line test, V-E-R-T-I-C-A-L, line test. That's basically what I wrote up here at the top, but then we'll look at it a little bit further on in the notes. This means that any vertical line drawn on the graph should intersect the graph at exactly one point. 1 point only. Okay, this is the best test, and it's the easiest one too. It's kind of fun actually. So each x value must connect to only one y value. Make sure that there isn't more than one arrow leaving an x value. Okay, and we'll look at that on the mapping as well. Okay, so let's go down here. Okay, so this is a table. Okay, and in our table, we're going to look, and basically what you're going to do, students, are you're going to, let's see, let me go up here, okay, there we go. So for every x value, that's negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, that we here, guys, we had no repeats. So we had no x repeats. Okay, so is this a function? Yes, it is. Because each input, each one of our x values has exactly one, very important word, output. Okay, that is a valid explanation. Okay, and now we're going to look at our ordered pairs. Okay, so you can see, again, we're going to be looking, and you can see that here's a -2 for x, a 3, a -4, a -2, and a 0. Okay, so are you seeing any repeats? And so the answer is no, we don't see any repeats. So, wait a minute, just a second, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. We've got a -2 and we've got a -2, don't we? Okay, so the -2, 1, we can kind of highlight these -2, 1, and -2, 8. So is this a function? No, it's not a function. The input has the input, I'm going to put it here, of -2 has two different inputs. I mean outputs, I'm sorry. You know me, outputs. U-T-S. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Okay, so we're going to look now at our graph, and we're going to see if it passes the vertical line test. Okay, so what's going on here? So let's draw a vertical line. Okay, it only passed through one point of the vertical line. We can just keep going through here, but it passes the vertical line test because every one of our vertical lines, we only hit the graph in one, right there, in one point. So the answer then would be yes, 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 passes the vertical line test. Okay, this is called, this next one is called a mapping. Mapping. M-A-P-P-I-N-G. And when we look at this, we really want to be careful, kind of make our order pairs. So I'm going to take our 0 right here, 0, and its corresponding y value is 5. Okay, I'm going to put 1, and its corresponding y value is 5. 2, and its corresponding y value is 5. 3, and its corresponding y value is 5. So we can see then for every input that we have, so for every input, we have a different output. Okay, so is this a function? The answer is yes. Each x value connects to only one y value. Okay. For every input, a function is a rule that assigns each input exactly one output. Okay. Let's go to the next page. Okay, so now we're going to determine the following, if the following represents a function by labeling yes or no. Justify your answer. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do then is we're going to look and see, let's just do it this way. Okay, so we're going to look at our x's. There's a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. Okay, so is it a function? Yes, it's a function because each input has only one output. Okay? Next one. Okay, you're going to use the rules that we had on the previous page, guys. Okay, so whether we're going to look to see if each input represents only one output. So we're looking here, and now remember, is a -5 the same as a 5? And the answer is no, isn't it? Remember our vertical line test that we're going to be drawing. So you draw a vertical line, and if you pass through more than one point, it's not a function. Same thing, looking at number 8, vertical line test. And then whenever you get to number 9, we're checking out our x values to see if there's a repeat, basically. When you get down here, be careful. Make sure that you're writing each ordered pair. Okay, on number 10, 5 and its coordinates 7, 10 and its corresponding y value of 12. Okay, so 15. So be careful when you see this. This is kind of a red flag, okay? And then you've got non-examples. We may hold these non-examples till actually an entrance ticket in the morning. Your assignment now is to answer these questions. And so basically, use your knowledge of functions to complete the table below, identify whether or not each representation is a function, and be sure to justify your answer. So you're going to look at it. You're going to see, do we have anything repeating, yes or no, and you're going to justify it. One of your answers would be a yes or no, because the input has exactly one output. Yes or no, it passes the vertical line test. Yes or no. So those are kind of basically the answers that you're going to be having. Vertical line test, each input has exactly one output. Be very careful with the mappings, okay? You guys work well. This second paper is due today. Be sure to glue in your notes. Bless other people.